Getting some sun on your face is one of the few escapes for those living and working in the urban jungle. I'm currently at Grange Park, one of 40 parks which could receive a blessing from City Hall. They could receive a ban for any developers who want to build near a park like this from casting a shade down from the building onto the park. Now, it's being voted on this evening at City Hall, and it's all called TOcore. It's a study which has been ongoing for the last 4 years.
Downtown Toronto has reached a tipping point in that we can handle more development, but only if it's developed in a livable way for the people who live here and work here. And that's what TOcore is all about. One of the things we're doing as we grow up as a city is reimagining how we grow up to make sure it's livable.
Toronto hasn't had a new master plan since the 70s. The boundaries of the TOcore proposal span from Bathurst to the west, the DVP to the east, DuPont to the north, and the lake to the south. It includes new setbacks for sidewalks of at least 6 meters at the base of mixed-use buildings. It will also push some new condo towers to use the first 5 floors for office space, schools, daycares, community centers, and other mixed-use spaces other than residential units. Now, this map shows the amount of sunlight parts of our city are receiving. The yellow spots are getting around 9+ hours of sun every day. The blue and purple spots are getting less than 2 hours of sun per day. Clara Romero is one of the authors of the proposal council is voting on. She believes it's vital to hold on to the sun we currently have shining down on us on our parks, though others believe the wording in the report might leave the door open for interpretation. When you look at this map, what does it say to you?
To me, it says that we have a lot of opportunity downtown. Most of the downtown is doing fairly well. Like, you find that most of your streets are meeting the 4 hours, 5 hours target, and then obviously the low residential neighborhoods are fantastic. They have like 8 hours.
You know, the policies are obviously well intended. Everyone wants to preserve sunlight on parks and open spaces to preserve their utility and so forth. But the wording in a lot of the policies is fairly vague. It comes down to a matter of interpretation. You know, what is minimizing? You know, just because a tower is made a little bit slimmer than would otherwise be acceptable, is that enough to say it's been minimized? You know, the city, if they're opposed to a project, may take a different view and say you're still casting undue shadow on a park or an open space.
Now, the vote is still expected this evening on TOcore. I was speaking with Councillor Joe Cressy earlier today. He told me he believes that this vote will be passed by council. He believes this has the backing of almost every single council member. Now, some of you at home might be wondering, what about green spaces and parks at schools? Well, they wouldn't be part of this shade ban that would come into effect as part of TOcore. The study recommends looking further at those spaces.